guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic. Happy New Year! Welcome to 2018, and welcome back to another reaction to The Runaways. We are on episode 9, which is called Doomsday. Not ominous title at all. No idea what it could possibly refer to. We're not at the end of the season quite yet. So I don't think that we're actually heading towards a doomsday in this episode. It'll be interesting to find out exactly what it's referring to. It might also be referring to whatever the sacrifices and all the stuff that's going on with the Gibberum is actually leading up to, because hopefully the parents have not just been killing people for the sake of killing people. Last episode, quite a bit went down. The major highlights being the fact that Nico was brought up to speed with all the stuff that's happened, as far as her sister, or leading up to her sister's death, which led her to find her sister's backpack, which included her sister's phone. And that's something that probably still has some evidence that even her parents were not able to get rid of in time. So that is there. We also discovered that, we also had the freak out amongst the children because Chase is sadly still in a moment of he's all in his feelings about his daddy, and he was not ready to have his dad die or potentially die with being exposed as being a murderer all at the same time. So he went and he destroyed the only evidence that the group has so far to take their parents down and take Pride down. So he's probably not in a very good place where the group's concerned at the moment. And we also had Molly finding a very mysterious VHS tape that her parents left to her, and she looked at it as though she'd never seen a VHS tape before, which is very possible. And thank you for the correction in the comments, guys. Molly is not a millennial, sorry. She is Generation Z. She's a 2000s kid. Kind of crazy to believe she was born in 2000 and she's actually like a fully fledged teenager now, but digressing. She found something, and we're going to find out hopefully this episode what is on that tape, assuming she can find a VHS player, because girl, those things are expensive these days. Anyway, without further ado, I'm kind of excited for this episode, so let's jump in and then we'll chat afterwards, okay? All right? Boop. 10 years ago. Oh, girl. A dot matrix. I don't think we had dot matrices still 10 years ago.
Email them over.
No, you have to see these in person.
You worried about Tina again?
Look, if they are, you think...
Why are they talking on Wizard's server with this conversation?
I want to know what this asshole Jonah has on you.
Molly touched them?
Whatever it is, we'll figure it out together.
This explains so much. Muffled sound. I wonder what can make that happen. Oh, I don't know. A wand? The rock closed. What the hell? Tina, you cold-hearted. There was a baby in there.
It gives me comfort being in here.
Nico's like, no, you don't need to sit down. Oh, okay. Why don't you just make yourself comfortable?
No.
Why was it that all the manure women just give Robert these looks of disdain? Just
All
like,
of the data got destroyed when Chase smashed the computer. But I think it's time that you step back and let some adults take over. One of them.
Me.
dude,
Dad,
no offense, but you're wildly incompetent.
What can you really...
I got this.
No, you've got nothing.
I
Literally.
was just saying goodbye to Carolina.
No job, no wife,
Gotta go, Buffalo.
not even a kid.
What the hell is that guy's story?
Jason, I know that this is the most difficult thing that you have ever been through.
Chase,
But
I'm
I
about to
beg
talk
you,
down to you like you're a
do not
stupid,
ask
stupid
questions.
baby.
The less you know, the better.
These people feeling sorry for him. He doesn't need a hug, what he needs is a punch in the face.
Agreed.
Miss Molly.
Oh, what our next move is, or if we even have one. We can't win, not anymore.
My dad says he has a plan.
No offense, but your dad
What are you
useless.
suggesting? That we...
Last chance to get your tickets before the dance tonight. I'm sorry, this does not concern you.
I I go to this school, okay?
The water polo team will be there, in case you're looking to diversify.
We'll take 5 tickets, you hateful bitch.
Ooh!
Then let's dance.
Why are you smiling?
Chase finally seen Gert for the first time. She's always been here, Chase.
Mommy's home.
Hi, Mommy.
What did you do to the babysitter?
Damn.
Thank you.
That's accusatory.
Oh, they say that raising girls at this age is easier. But when they become teenagers, watch out.
Get
Some of the mothers.
Nemo? They're finding Nemo?
I, for one, am just glad this day is finally here.
Agreed.
Why?
Renewable energy.
Well, why Catherine have her hat on with a lean, though?
A few more specific.
She in the hood
A
now.
great deal to
Who's this brother man?
Hurry up, man. Get in the car.
Oh, he was a spy. Know what to do.
Which is why you decided to do a show and tell in Retrotech.
It's for my parents, and I need you to help me.
Okay, well, when I was in AV Club, we had an old VHS.
I was about to say, where you gonna find something to play this?
Maybe it's still there.
Guys, come on. Don't take away his one thing.
You're all assholes.
Amen. It's a good thing he's a nerd because he found out where the VCR is, so there.
Specifically for something important.
It's gonna get juicy.
Hi, baby.
The point is, if you're watching this, we failed to stop it.
So sad.
Baby, we love you.
Oh Lord, watch this idiot screw it all up for the kids now. I have no faith in you, Frank. No faith.
Jonah, they say that knowledge is power. And if that's the case, I'm feeling very powerful.
You simpleton.
Because of the knowledge that I have.
But y'all can't hire cleaners? Come on, you know there's gotta be cleaners in LA that will clean up blood with no questions with the right money. You know what I'm saying?
Bride doesn't have a cleaner? I thought
What?
it was a group of shade ball.
Carolina, I know you guys have been spending a lot of time together.
And the more time I spend with her, the less I think she wants to spend with me.
Oh, he's picking up.
Doesn't matter. Dates are so heteronormative.
Really? Since
Quoting
That's
Gert?
what Gert says. Most of the time, I don't.
I'd like a group meeting. My place.
Great. Thanks, Frank. Molly trying to be incognito.
How was Molly's day off? Feel a sports car?
Sure look pretty for a mission.
Right?
I just keep cover story.
I've never seen that necklace or that dress. Is it for him?
No.
Go get him. Live your truth.
Oh, stop.
Live your truth. The shade. Ooh, cupcakes. That's where I'd be at the party.
What do you care? You thought I was an idiot.
I never thought that. I would have said that often.
Confession
and loudly,
time.
But it was.
Might suck, but it's real.
Wow. This moment of clarity has been brought to you by Lyft.
About time, I guess.
Damn, Gert. Go get him. That's not a dance room. The music's in the other room. Mazel tov? Really? We're gonna do this right now? Okay. Get it, Gert? Whoa, we said a dance. What's going on here? Wait, whoa, we said a dance. Nobody needs to get pregnant tonight.
Want some company?
Sure. Carolina, you want to come?
Oh, Lord. Molly's face is like, damn. Jeez. This whole end of the world stuff's getting to everybody. We were dancing.
We should go.
Vigorously. Yeah.
That glows. A little one that can lift the SUV. A stick that I really don't even know what it did. And a glove that makes lightning.
You said.
Oh, baby. Using the cocaine again, aren't you?
Best case scenario, We don't get caught, we don't have to fight.
When was the last time any of us experienced the best case scenario?
Whose fault is that, Chase?
No, that has been a
Are you mad at me about what happened between us?
What? That we had sex in the middle of the Tenenbaum wedding, didn't even stop to talk about it or define the relationship?
That was an hour ago. And now we're trying to prevent California from dropping into the ocean.
Priorities, Gert.
Should I press it?
I have a better idea.
I need to break stuff. Such a boy.
Come on.
Did you just... Okay, people need to stop high-fiving and shaking hands with the fisticuns, okay? She's gonna pass out after this, guys. I hope y'all recognize that. Woo! This is going too well. I don't like it.
I will spot you if we have to!
Did you know about this?
Yep.
No,
Oh, maybe she didn't. Look at the secrets.
but it's what I was afraid of.
Damn it, it's just starting to get good. Why? Y'all just had to end at the boss scene, didn't you? You had to end at the boss fight. Man. All right, guys, that was episode 9, which was called Doomsday. I feel like maybe we were a little preemptive with that title. However, I guess as far as the kids operating in secrecy, that has now been blown entirely. Thank you, Frank, you selfish idiot. But yeah, the gauntlets are off. The fistigons are off, and now it is all out, parents versus kids. And I am kind of happy this happened. I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't know if we were gonna get it this season, however. But considering we've got 1 episode left, which is really sad. I kind of want this show to go on a little longer, but yeah, I guess we had to come to some kind of a place, which makes me really wonder what the finale is gonna have in store. But let's get into the episode, because we had some pretty cool things go down and a few things that made me kind of go, We had the flashback to the Hernandezes, which I'm glad we finally got to see more of them. We really didn't get to see them alive outside of that flashback a few weeks ago at the first Pride ceremony, so we didn't get to really hear them talk too much. We didn't know what they were about, but now we know how they were contributing to Pride, because every member of Pride, or every group, or I'm not sure if they member, but every person within a couple at the very least of Pride was there for a reason. And it turns out that Molly's parents, I'm assuming, were something like maybe geologists or seismologists, or maybe both, and they basically were digging around. I guess they were digging on the site ahead of time, doing some sort of sampling. And I'm assuming it was so that they could know how to form a drill that would be able to drill far enough or deep enough to do whatever it is that Jonah is planning. But more importantly, we see that they discovered that there was these weird glowy meteorites that they think may have been manipulated potentially by some sort of mutation. And they also realized that if they did any type of drilling on this type of rock with the type of things that they discovered about it, that it was going to cause seismic activity, aka earthquakes, and they would be so bad that it could potentially sink all of LA, if not more than that. So they were like, whoa, this is, I guess, the first ripple, the first crack in the armor as far as the intentions behind what the Pride was doing. And I think all of them obviously knew something shady was going on from the first sacrifice, when they realized A, they're killing people, and B, that their kids were being threatened if they didn't continue to help. But I don't think they realized that whatever they were doing would be, potentially to the magnitude of taking out an entire city or more. So apparently they started to work with, which is kind of what we already knew, but they started to work with the Yorkses and say, listen, I guess the Yorkses were also very like, whoa, we don't like this either. And they told the Yorkses this information, but they used Wizard. This is the part I just, like, all these parents are geniuses in some right, and yet they do such stupid things. Like, you know that there's probably an issue that you don't trust Tina out of this group of people who are not Jonah and not Leslie. You know Tina's the other person you just don't trust in this group, yet they're using her technology, which is the Wiz app, to communicate. Of course Tina's gonna be piggybacking that stuff. Of course she's gonna be checking every correspondence, or damn near any of them, especially the ones that are initiated by Pride members. Like, it just, I really hate when there are these things that just don't make any sense. Just like a few weeks ago with Robert, not thinking that Victor would be smart enough to hack their phones, or potentially hack their phones and listen into their conversations. Like, dude, come on. I understand if y'all were not in the area of technology or didn't understand this stuff, but this is basic stuff. This is basic stuff engineers should understand. But I'll let it go. That's my rant. I'm done. But anyway, back on point. It looks like they discovered this, but more importantly, we saw Molly poking away at these glowing rocks. Glowing. Now, we've seen glowing only in 2 contexts so far before these rocks, and that was first, of course, with Carolina. We know she takes off her bracelet, she turns into Rainbow Bright. We know that Victor's blood also glows, or at least his essence. I don't know if it actually was his blood or not. And then when Molly, her powers kick in, her eyes glow. So glowing is like a theme. And so whether or not these all come from the same place, we'll see. I mean, obviously we know that, well, I shouldn't say we know, but from the comics, we know that Carolina is not human. She's an alien. However, this rock that they found, I'm wondering if potentially comes from the planet that Jonah comes from. We don't know anything about it. Obviously, the show's been very good about keeping Jonah and his history and his background and anything about him very tight-lipped. So I don't know if they're going to go straight out of the comics. Maybe they're waiting to see how much of it they want to get into. But now that Marvel owns Fox, who knows, they have a much richer, deeper lore to dig into going forward. But anyway, I have a prediction that rock may potentially come from outer space, that it's not intrinsic to Earth, and potentially it was Molly's actual contact, although the parents had contact with it too, but maybe if they'd survived, they would have developed abilities as well. But anyway, in the comic, I know that the Hayeses, / Hernandezes, they were already mutants, but they weren't mutants with abilities of strength. But they were mutants, so the chances of them having a mutant child were obviously very high. But in this case, it looks like Molly was the only one who developed some sort of a mutation. Outside of that, interesting that we saw, I can't remember his first name, but the Davis guy, the one that took the rap for Jeffrey, he's not letting go of his vendetta. I understand it in some respects, I really do. He got royally screwed by Jeffrey, but homie has got to realize that decision was all on him. Jeffrey did not threaten him. Jeffrey didn't say, listen, you're going to, confess to this murder, or I'm going to, find your family and hurt them or something. Like, he just asked him. He's like, bro, come on, take a salad for me. Just pretend, say that you murdered somebody and I'm going to take care of you later. As I said in that video when it came out, bruh, never take a murder rap. You are a black man in America. You never take a murder rap that ain't yours. Okay? They're going to try to pin stuff on you anyways. Do not ever take a murder rap. That was your craptastic decision. Now, yes, Jeffrey did welch on his deal, but that's exactly why you don't take deals like, oh, hey, how about you confess to murder and I get scot-free, but I'll hook you up when you get out. Nah, sorry, you made the wrong choice, sir. But I do understand now why, part of that conversation with, I assume it's his baby mama or his wife, part of it is, yes, he wants revenge on Jeff. He's like, I know Jeffrey's always had something in his pocket. He's always one step ahead. I want to take something from him the way he took, I don't even know how many years in jail he was there, away from me. But also, because the kids showed up and showed him the fact that they are not your general humans. And again, I've already had these conversations about how, obviously, since Hulu is owned by ABC, which owns Marvel, the universes can all collide to some extent. And some of you have said they're in the same universe as the X-Men. And I know that from the comics that they are in the same universe as the Avengers and X-Men. I don't know how much collaboration they're having going on as far as the show goes. So again, I don't know how many people out there know about mutants or have seen that many mutants. Because we got the sense from Daves that he's never really seen a mutant before, but he wasn't too freaked out. He was just basically like, listen to his wife. It's like, I saw a little girl who can lift a truck by herself. I saw a boy who can shoot lightning out of his hands. I saw a girl who sparkles. Like, he knows there is some weird stuff going on and he needs answers. And I think it's more curiosity than it is revenge at this point. I mean, I think they're both very important to him, but The curiosity, I think, is his biggest thing. Like, he wants to know what's going down. He wants to understand how these people exist and why Jeffrey potentially knows about them or doesn't know about them. And it's kind of driving him to continue this weird obsession he's got going on. I don't think it'll end well for him, of course, but I'm still trying to figure out why the show continues to have him there, because he's not really a foil for Jeffrey. Not really. We all know that if Jeffrey really wanted to get rid of this situation, he could. But they're keeping him around and they're showing him a lot, and I just keep wondering what part he's going to play in the bigger, you know, scene of things. The one thing I will say, though, is that I feel like the kids do need an adult ally of some kind somewhere. Like, something like this just is not easily pulled off by only children. However, I thought it would be Frank, but as we see now, Frank is just a putz, so maybe it's gonna be Davis. Maybe Davis will somehow inadvertently end up being a champion for these kids in some way. I don't know how at this point, but I'm still just trying to figure out how he fits in this puzzle like Kincaid. Then, of course, because this is a show that is produced by people who made your teen, gossipy, romancy, soapy shows, we had to have a little of those moments with our teenagers. The dance, which was conveniently placed, you know, if you've ever watched any teen shows like Pretty Little Liars or 90210 or any of the other little teen dramas out there always has to be a school dance just to push angst, and we had it in this episode. And so Chase and Gert were definitely the biggest highlights of this. Of course, there was the Nico and Carolina stuff, but the focal point was definitely on Chase and Gert, and I'm okay with it because, again, I know from the comics that Chase and Gert are a thing, and they become a thing, and they're a pretty huge thing, but in the show thus far, especially since the way that they played it, it just kind of felt a little jarring in this episode, which is surprising because the show's usually been pretty good about making things unfold in a nice, like, believable fashion, but this just felt like they just took everything from 0 to 60. Like, I was like, whoa, what happened here? Like, we know that Gert's had a thing for Chase for a while. That part's been established since day one. But Chase, from episode 1 till, like, last episode, we've never really seen Chase really reach out to Gert for anything. Let's be real. I mean, they were friends before. Obviously, they have a history. Last episode is the first time we heard anything about Chase and Gert spending time together, like, alone. Previously, we heard Gert talk about the fact that they used to watch or, you know, do astronomy together. But we've never heard anything of that nature before this. It was very much just kind of felt out of nowhere that all of a sudden Chase is quoting Gert and Chase is talking about things that Gert does. I'm like, we've never seen, like, I would have been okay with it if we'd seen, you know, Chase do the odd thing here and there with her that kind of made it seem like he thought about Gert, but we didn't see any of that to this episode. And all of a sudden now he's quoting Gert lines and he's looking all moony-eyed at Gert. We did not see this beforehand. And so I'm not saying that with teenagers it doesn't happen like that. And maybe once he realized Carolina was just not into him, you know, but we didn't get to see it a little bit. I just feel like the show could have planted a few more seeds on Chase's side at the very least, that he might have been potentially interested in Gert, but maybe, you know, he was too afraid of what his friends would think or whatever to actually pursue it. You know what I mean? It just kind of felt weird. And then it's super rushed. I mean, we went for the two of them barely being able to have a civil conversation with each other to banging in a hotel room, or not even a hotel room, like a banquet hall. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa, like, show, come on. Like, I'm all for romance and stuff. I actually don't dislike Chase and Gert as a couple, but I just feel like you guys could have made this a little bit more, a little smoother, is all I'm saying. They could have made it a little smoother. It just kind of feels really jarring. I mean, the Carolina and Nico moment seemed a little bit more realistic with, you know, Carolina just going in for, you know, trying to kiss her. Like, that made sense to me. But yeah, it just, and Nico's response being like, whoa, where'd that come from? You know, that felt more authentic. But the whole thing with Gert and Chase just felt really rushed. And I don't see why the show needs to do that. I mean, I feel like, even though it hasn't been announced that I know of, I feel like the season 2 is definitely imminent. We don't have to have all the relationships happen right now. We've got enough going on. One couple in a group this small is more than enough for one season. Other than that, I guess the main thing is, yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to next week now, the face-off. the parents finally seeing what their kids are up to, understanding that their kids are a hell of a lot smarter than they gave them credit for. I mean, obviously we saw with Alex's parents that they already suspected that the kids were onto them, but the rest of the parents are clearly in shock. It's going to be on and popping going forward because these parents are trying to explain stuff that they should have tried explaining years ago, and these kids are not about to hear it. And I loved, oh my God, best moment of the episode is their faces when they saw Molly's eyes light up and Carolina's thought shining bright like a diamond. They were like, what the? I mean, and the revelation that Leslie didn't know that Carolina was like her dad. So again, I think this is confirming that in this case, unlike the comics, Leslie, I don't know, but I don't for sure, but I don't think Leslie is an alien. I think Leslie's human, but she was hoping that Carolina was human too. And now she knows that unfortunately that is not the case. Carolina is like her father. Lots of drama to come, and we only have one episode left, so I'm like, God, what are we gonna do in the next episode? What's gonna happen, y'all? Because we can't have the boss fight yet. It's too soon. It is way too soon, but this may be what triggers the phase of the comics where the kids are no longer able to go home, right? You know, the comics, there is a big part of where the kids cannot stay with their parents anymore, but they can't stay like out in the open either. So who knows? Maybe season 2 is going to be the Runaways while they're on the lam, as it were, hiding from their parents, but trying to still figure out a way to take them down. I think that would be super cool to see. What did you guys think of this episode? Do you feel like we're about to get the huge battle royale, or do you feel like Jonah's gonna step in and cause all kinds of new mayhem we haven't even begun to understand yet? And also, what do you think we've got in store for the finale? We're only one episode away. What do you think we're gonna possibly end on as a cliffy? Because let's face it, it's gonna be a cliffy. And how do you think it's gonna affect season 2? Like, where are we gonna go? Are we gonna have the Runaways finally separating from the parents? Please leave all your theories and comments and questions and all that good stuff below. You know I love to read that stuff. If you like this video, guys, you know I'd love it if you click that like button. If you want to see more from this adorably geeky face, or maybe just geeky, please go ahead and click subscribe. Until next time, see ya!